even know where my camera is. Welcome everyone to PGL. It's right there. I'm a professional. I'm here with some of the Mad Lions. We're also going to talk to Armut in just a little bit, but I've got Humanoid here, I've got Kaiser here, and I have one half of the mac and cheese duo, Mac, here as well. After the Mad Lions, get their back-to-back title. Humanoid, how does it feel being the best mid in Europe?
Well, it feels good.
Trick question.
It's a trick question, but yeah, I mean, I guess I won twice already, so I guess I'm the best, yeah.
I was trying to bait you a little bit.
Yeah, mid lane is an OP role, so you can't really win if you're not the best, yeah.
Oh, okay, nice. I mean, on a serious note, I was trying to bait you there a little bit. Amazing achievement from the Mad Lions. We heard from El Yoya. He said the first time actually felt a lot more special, and I think we can understand that. But, you know, there is a lot of weight in getting a title back-to-back. Do you think it was a more difficult road towards your second title than it was towards your first one?
I mean, I think this split felt easier, especially since most of the best of fives that we played were pretty one-sided, so we were really confident going to the finals. Whereas last split, we went to game 5 a lot, and the finals was really close as well. So this split felt for sure easier than last time.
I think if you look objectively, Kaiser, at kind of the games you played, and it seemed at a lot of points that Mad never seemed in danger, was the feeling that you got, because mainly you were able to fight back from such deficits in a lot of these games. Even in this game 2 that you lost versus Fnatic, it was so close. Why do you think you guys seem to have that clutch factor in the mid game, and has it gotten stronger throughout these playoffs now, leading into Worlds?
I mean, I think our macro in general is just like pretty good. I think we know how to play around like mini objectives, like for example jungle camps and stuff like this. Like we don't like try to always go for the 0% fight where we just lose the game and just they take Nash and then it's game over, right? Like we just try to look for mistakes of our opponents and like try to stay in the game, because we like our mental is pretty good. And I think that's why we are so good at like coming back. And of course, like we also have like this killer instinct kind of, and where we like find these like mistakes from our opponents where they like misposition or something, and then we just like engage on them, and then the game is like turned around. So yeah, I think that's a big part of why we are so good from behind.
Specifically in the bot lane, Hillasang has actually been on a tear so far in the lower bracket. He's really done phenomenal. How did you guys manage from the bot lane then to isolate him and not have him have the same impact he did have in some of the other games we saw out of Fnatic?
I mean, I think our drafting was like pretty good. I think we drafted pretty good weak side bot lanes, for example, the Ezreal or the Ziggs, that we can just like farm from range and like stay on the tower, right, and like just get the CS we can. And then I was like enabled by that. Like Kazi did a great job, like not dying and stuff like this. And I was enabled to go on the top side where we were playing around and like getting Armut ahead, getting Humanoid ahead, and then we got a lot of heralds, for example, and they couldn't snowball from bot lane hard enough, and then we just won the game.
Couldn't snowball hard enough. Mac, do you feel like that's always the case? You guys seem to have... What's your cutoff point? Is it being 12k down? Is that maybe where you can't get back into a game?
I mean, it's strange because it doesn't really feel like there is a hard cutoff point for us. I mean, we probably would have FF'd a game, was it game 2 that we lost? Yeah, game 2 in scrims. We actually almost made the miracle comeback. But yeah, I don't know. I think we're just very good at forcing mistakes out of opponents. And then they, like Kaiser said, they misstep and we kind of pounce on them, right? I think that in general also, a lot of our drafts are good to play from behind, right? Like today, for example, you saw in game 2, even the one we lost, where Armut was super strong on the gangplank, and he's been having like a really good playoffs.
Yeah.
So I think you saw in that game where there was a team fight, like it's not easy for them to play it when they have like a short range comp with Vayne, because he can just press R on top of them, and then the fight stalls out for like 10 seconds, and then we can isolate someone and jump on them and kill them, which is what happened in a lot of the late game fights.
We're going to talk to Armut in just a second, but I'd love to know you from a coach perspective as well, with Chachi now coming in. And as said, he's had a quiet, it feels like, monster performance, because when last time around it was like the 2-time TCL champ what, but I feel like specifically the gangplank game in game 3, he was quietly winning the game for you guys. Can you tell him kind of what was his goal today in terms of also isolating maybe the rookie of the split, Adam, and making sure that Mad could win those games?
Yeah, we felt like Fnatic was a team that relied very heavily on their jungle and bot lane being enabled. And I mean, I think Adam sacrifices a lot for the team, sometimes in bad positions where he actually shouldn't. And if you can go top and get his teleport out of him and make him suffer a bit, then he will really, really struggle when he's isolated 1v1. So a lot of our prep today was about isolating the 1v1 by like taking away his TP, and that means that our bot lane can then play to scale. Which, I mean, it worked really well. I think Armut dominated the laning phase really, really well.
Yeah.
Shout out to Chachi for all the wonderful work he's done with Armut. I think they spammed like 100 Gangplank 1-to-1s, like Gangplank versus Renekton, Gangplank versus Camille, all of the stuff that we were prepping for Adam.
Okay, well, we're going to hear from the man himself, Armut, because Laure is standing by for an interview with the two-time, and now the two-time LEC champion too.
That's right, two-time TCL champion and two-time LEC champion now, Armut. Thank you for joining me. Congrats on winning the LEC once again. Elia was telling me that it was less impressive than the first time around when you won. Do you agree with that? Is that a sentiment you share?
Yeah, because I think it was against Rogue and we kind of reversed it from 2-0 to 3-2, so it was... We managed, like, it felt like we managed to achieve something bigger than this time because I think this was like not reverse sweep, that's why I guess.
Yeah, and also pointing on the fact that during the split you were telling me that you lost motivation and that you found it again. Winning today, does that make it feel special maybe?
I'm not gonna say I was expecting this but I was expecting to, as individually, I was expecting to play better because, like I said, I find my motivation again. Yeah, so I'm happy that we won. It was impressive by us.
That was an amazing victory, honestly. And what makes me laugh is, of course, I look at Twitter, I look at Bencher and everything that happens. And I remember last night we saw a cocky Niski, if that makes sense, talking to you and Adam jumping in. Did it give you more fuel to...
But I don't think Niski is cocky. We are just really close friends, so we are just flaming each other for fun. I don't think he's cocky at all. I think he's a really nice person.
We know it's for fun, but did it give you more fuel to dominate Adam today, maybe?
I mean, I didn't get solo boloed by him, so he's not better than me at least.
You may be one of the only LEC
players. He didn't kill me, right?
No, he didn't kill you.
I'm the only top lane he didn't solo kill me,
Congrats, that's
Adam is not better than me.
Well, we'll see about next year. I mean, you have a better task now in the sense that you're going to play at Worlds. Any top laners that you will be looking to face?
It was Khan. It's Khan.
Oh,
it's
Khan.
Because I think against Damwon, at last MSI, it was 2-2, and he beat me really hard in the J-Snar matchup, and they won 3-2. That kind of hurt me a lot, So I think I improved a lot.
Yeah.
I'm looking to see how much I improved, and let's see what Khan has,
Let's see what he has for you.
Yeah.
Well, talking about improvements, Armut, I also want to point out the fact that you are the Kia player of the series today. And Dracos was telling me that at the beginning of the year, you were telling about the fact that you wanted to improve in the laning phase, especially, and that was an area you needed to get better. Reflecting on these improvements now that the year is over, how strong of a top laner are you?
I would say I'm in top 3 in LAC right now. Yeah.
I would even set up 1 since you won.
No. I don't want to be that much yet.
Well, what's left for you then?
I mean, I think my laning improved for sure, but I don't think it's enough. I mean, I don't see enough. I can do much better, so I'm just going to keep improving and let's see what I got.
Right, well, a few words on the other regions and other teams that are going to be representing their regions at Worlds. I don't know if you've been able to catch any of the finals or games, but who looks like the biggest threat? You don't know, maybe.
Oh, what I heard from my teams, it's FPX, I think.
All right, well, eyes on FPX then. Armut, thank you so much for the interview.
Thank you so much.
Congrats again on winning the LEC. And Sjokz, back to you in PGL.
Thank you so much, Laure. Wonderful job. And thank you, Armut. Eyes on FPX, huh? You're trying to jinx someone there. I like it. All right. In any case, I feel like Armut is reacting the same way. Like, I tried to bait you with the best mid in Europe. She did the same in terms of top 1. And I think that's very becoming of you guys. Because obviously, if you think you're at the top, then how are you going to improve? With that in mind, World Championship is coming up, Humanoid. I think it's fair to say last year was a disappointment, but everyone feels like the hype is so big for the Mad Lions. Can you maybe put us down to earth? What are your general fair expectations of how you can do this time around?
Well, I mean, this time we for sure will not drop out in planes.
Right.
Since we don't have to go there. And so it should be way easier. I mean, I'm not going to say that we are going to win Worlds, but I think we can go pretty far. Usually the top 1 teams from Europe does really well at Worlds. And this time it's us. So I think we can show up really good and make it pretty far. Don't know who we will get. You know, it's kind of RNG.
Yeah.
But yeah, we can make it pretty far.
You're right, it's always super tricky. Sometimes the first seed even ends up in like the worst group. I mean, G2 can tell a whole tale about that. Kaiser, I think it's fair to say that you guys as a bot lane and you in particular have been phenomenal this playoffs. I also think that whilst you had a more quiet spring, you really exploded at MSI, and it seemed like the better your opponents, the better you started to play. How do you feel about your level, particularly with Karji in the bot lane? How you've changed throughout this year and how well you are prepared for the world's bot lanes?
I mean, yeah, I feel like we are just like playoff spikers, I guess, in a
Yeah.
way. Like I think even like especially Kazi, I think he like performs insanely well in important games, right? Like he doesn't die as often on midway, for example, or he doesn't die as often in lane, for example. Like in scrims, he usually just dies like 20 times, you know. And yeah, I mean, like in playoffs, I think he plays always like really well. Like he has like these insane plays, and even though he doesn't like play more passive or anything, like I feel like he's still the same player. Like I feel like he's more calculated in a way, and yeah, that makes him like a really insane player. So yeah, I think our level. I'm not sure like how we fare against like the LPL and LCK bot lanes. I think there's like some really strong bot lanes in the world right now, and we're not like known for like lane dominance either. So we'll have to work on that for sure. Like I think we're not perfect, right? So we'll see what we can do to fix those like kind of issues, right? And I think we'll still do well at Worlds for sure.
It seems to me that you're playing quite LPL-esque, Mac. Is that specifically something that was envisioned knowing that this is the style that has brought you the most success also at MSI, but also I think in the playoffs so far, and that it may be something that you need to unpack when you get to those best of fives at Worlds, hopefully?
Yeah. I would like to think that we're the team outside of China that plays the most like a Chinese team. Personally, I mean, I love the way FPX plays. There's kind of always been my inspiration and learning point since I started watching more LPL a few years ago. Sorry, what was the question?
It was if you feel like you're best equipped to take them on, and maybe also, I'm just going to invent something now, but maybe also how much you've improved in terms of last year when you arrived at Worlds and now.
I think we're a completely different beast this year. I think we're so much more flexible, and that's the main thing, and we're also actually pretty hard to beat in general. Like, we have a lot of different options, and I think in draft in this playoffs, Fnatic was the only team that actually pushed us. Like, I think they were the only team that attacked us where it hurt and had some actual really good options against us in draft. Like, they had a lot of champions that were really threatening, or champions that like we didn't want to play. So there was a big champion pool difference against Rogue and G2. It didn't feel like that at all. When it comes to playing against Chinese teams, I think that in China and Korea, I think like the top 1, top 2 teams are really, really, really good. And we do a lot of the things that they do as well. I think we'd have a very good chance against, you know, top 3, top 4, probably even second place Chinese Korean teams against. I mean, I hope that it's FPX that wins the final in LPL. I really, really, really want to play them. So maybe it would be better if they were second place. But
Oh God, be careful what you wish for.
I hope that we would get them later on in the tournament and play a BO5. I mean, there was a lot of narrative this playoffs around Niski being like the EU Doinby, but I think that's actually not true. I think that guy right there is the EU Doinby, to be honest with you. I think he's one of the only guys this split that's been willing to like permanently move at the correct time and always force in the early game, and that's a big part of the reason why we've had such a good split. I think Niski developed it later on, but I think it's something that Niski actually learned from watching Marek. I think he's been quite open about that at least. And yeah, I think Marek's a big part of the LPL style of Mad Lions.
You want to comment on that, or I don't know?
I mean, my style basically comes from watching a lot of DoNB for sure. Usually what I do is I watch the guy that wins Worlds after they win, you know, and try to just play like him. And 2 years ago it was DoNB. And so, yeah, I try to play like him the entire year. Then it was Showmaker who plays a lot different. So I play like him, and now I have these 2 styles basically which are different. And I guess I can use them at any time.
Wow, yeah, love that insight, and it's a good strategy as well. Kaiser, is there anyone you watch support-wise, example-wise?
I mean, definitely Carrier. I think he deserves to be called like one of the best supports in the world, right? Like his mechanics, his like even like his brain, you know, like he's really smart about the game. I think that's why, like, and he streams a lot, so like I can definitely watch his like solo queue, like his gameplay on T1, right? Even though they're not the best team in LCK, right? I think he's like a really good player, and of course, like the top LPL supports from like Meiko, Ming, I watch them as well, Crisp, because FPX is like so dominant and they move so like smart around the map, right? So I definitely learn a lot from those kind of players.
Hopefully, maybe you get a shout out in the interviews as well. I know there's been a lot going here and there. It's kind of crazy how big the hype is for Mad at Worlds, and it always scares me when that happens, Mac. I mean, people are going crazy. I saw an in-game poll. It was like, is Mad top 4 at Worlds? People were like, this is the best team we've sent in, whatever, They go crazy. How do you try and temper your expectations and keep your eyes on the prize?
I think internally we actually try not to speak about the word expectations at all. And very often when I'm asked about expectations, I actually say that I don't really like talking about expectations, right? So I think the main thing is focusing on just being the best we can be every day, focusing on improving. And I think the players deserve a huge amount of credit for that. I think one of the big reasons why we spike so hard in playoffs is not because, like an entire split of me telling them what to do suddenly sinks in 1 week. It's because all of them step up and they're so active. Like in reviews most of the time during the playoff weeks, I don't really even have to do anything. I'm just like, hey, let's look at this point and ask a question. And then it almost takes care of itself because we have players that are really, really passionate about improving and learning, and everyone is able to actually disagree with each other and take feedback and put out their point of view. And that's really, really valuable.
Absolutely. It's been a long day, so I'm not going to keep you for too long. There's only one thing I still want to ask, which is with ProView, we could see a lot of chatting in all chat. There was a lot of banter. It seemed like, both you guys and Fnatic, it's a super important occasion, but there was still a lot of fun. Does that also happen at MSI and at Worlds? Like, do you still type with
I don't think it happens as much since, we don't know the teams, we don't know the players usually.
But you can tilt them.
Yeah, you can tilt them for sure, but it's a bit more toxic if you do it with like players that you don't know, right?
Yeah, it's a good point.
And if you do it with Fnatic, we all know each other, so it's just fun.
Good point. I'm way too toxic. We'll see. I mean, some of the players have to play in EU solo queue also for Worlds this time around. So we'll know about that. Final question about that, Kaiser, is Worlds is now in Europe. You had the experience having the quarantine, I think, also when you went to Iceland for MSI, but specifically also last year. How different it is going to be knowing that, you don't have to jump a big time zone and you get to really focus on your prep?
I mean, I think it's a pretty big advantage. I think every time Worlds was in EU, you performed pretty well. So like home advantage is for sure like a thing. And I think even though we would like to go to China, right, like to experience the different culture again and stuff like this, I think being in EU definitely is also a factor that makes us like stronger in a way, right? Because we don't have to, as you said, we don't have to adjust with the time zone stuff like this, and we can play our EU solo queue, which is I'm not going to talk about that one, but I mean, it's definitely an advantage for us.
Mac, I'm going to let you guys go. Do you want to speak to kind of the year that the Mad Lions have had? I think for you also just a project that now spans over 2 years, right? And longer for you specifically, and what you've been able to achieve. And now that you've etched actually your name in the history books as not just a one-time team when people were saying, can they do it again? A back-to-back champion in the LEC, and what we can expect of Mad Lions going forward.
I'm very happy that we've proven that we aren't just a flash in the pan. I hope that this is the beginning of a new chapter of European League of Legends. I don't want to be too up on my high chair about it, but I think that this is an organization that has a wonderful philosophy and has a great approach to building and maintaining teams and investing in people. And I hope to be able to continue to do that for a long time. And hopefully with all of you guys. So yeah, I think for sure, you never know what's going to happen in the future, but I think Mad Lions will always be a team that plays this style of League of Legends as long as I'm here, hopefully. And that's something that I'm really excited about.
That sounds really fun. As humble in victory as you are in defeat, and that's why I think so many people love the Mad Lions and what you've done. Congratulations once again. Really crazy. That'll be the end of summer for us. Of course, you can watch the LCS. They still have their finals, 100 Thieves versus Team Liquid. Before you go, though, the music's already there, but I just want to thank you all again at home. The viewers who have been with us again this entire year, I really hope we can welcome you all back to the studio next year. We've had enough of this, but you've always supported us. Shout out down to the production team, as always, for all of this, as always, and everything we've done this year. We love you, and I guess we'll see you at Worlds. Bye.
Are going to win in the new era of European League of Legends. It is the Mad Lions.
Fnatic will join Mad and Rogue at Worlds. And how the freak do Mad Lions keep winning these fights? Mad Lions, they make their way to finals.
And Fnatic dominate Rogue. They will secure themselves a spot in the final.
Two teams are all that remain in the LEC. Two teams who have given everything they have to this singular, defining moment. And the only thing standing between them and this trophy is each other.
Bwebwe will be locked up in spot. He will go down. Armut now looking for the damage as well. This is going to be 4 kills for none in a 5v4 in favor of Mad. Adam sacrifices himself, diving onto Humanoid, knows that he's the key damage source, and Adam will fall. Petrifying Gaze goes in. Hillasang with another hook, as they look for Armut, but a double kill coming for Humanoid as he comes in with the rail warp. Nisqy the next target. That's another, that's 4! Humanoid, you absolute monster!
Can Elioya steal it?
There's no way! Steals it! And in his rookie year! Humanoid in, death sentence goes wide. Bwebwe diving in, with the Crescent Guard, and they're ready, they cut off Humanoid, and that's all the damage done! Humanoid trying to trade onto Nisqy, the red card, the heal, Humanoid can't get close enough! Fnatic, 8 kills to 2, we're going at 2 kills a minute. Fnatic could chase in here, Bwebwe's going to go in with the Cataclysm, but look at the damage from the Bounce, Mega Inferno Bomb coming out as well. Oh, his satchel charged him away from the Lantern!
GG, bitches.
Looking for the fight, looking for the fray, and knock back onto Armut. They're looking for the damage onto that next, and the Ignite goes down. Vanguard's Edge coming out as well. Armut heals up. Hillasang able to escape, but Elioya will not let him get away. Elioya gets one, dives back onto Nisqy. He steals Rakana, perhaps he steals the hopes away from Fnatic. Domestically undefeated, dominant and destructive. 2021 has been the year of Mad Lions. Long live the Lion Kings!